Hey guys, welcome back to Semojo Homestead, sort of.
Ish. Yeah.
We are obviously not there.
Yeah.
And we are currently in a storm delay.
A lightning delay, yes.
There's a nice little storm brewing over there. You might be able to hear the thunder in the background. But we wanted to take some time just to bring you guys along on our kind of hectic life and what it's been. In a lot of the recent videos, we've been mentioning like just how crazy our life has been, hectic our life has been, and such. So figured we would take this opportunity to bring you guys into that.
Yeah, and show you that we're not homesteading this weekend.
Yeah, we just had a lot going on. So this is going to be kind of a vlog / podcast kind of feel, I think. So, but we want to show you some footage of what we have been up to this weekend. So we're going to do that right now, and we'll get back to you.
I could have a circle.
I traced it.
Hey Joe, what do you think of that? You get to ride in the fire truck. You like it? You excited? Hey girls, are you proud of your brother?
Yes. Yes.
Is this exciting?
Yes.
Hey Joe, y'all gonna win?
So we pulled out another day and we're headed home, and then we will be back tomorrow for another game.
Yeah, so super excited that they are continuing to pull it out and get a few more games to play.
Yeah.
And we'll see how far they end up going in the state tournament. But as we said before, we do want to talk about, I'm going to say like when life trumps homesteading.
Yeah.
Like becomes, I guess, so hectic that homesteading as a whole kind of has to become secondary instead of our primary focus.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, like, we knew that life would happen. So we tried to plan our farm in a way that it could be a little bit self-sufficient. We have feeders for animals. We have waterers that are that can hold enough to get through a day or two. Ideally, we want to be on the farm harvesting our produce and doing, preserving. Our kitchen is full of things that need to be preserved.
Yeah.
But as far as animals and the well-being of the homestead, it's fine for times like this.
Yes, we do set it up for that.
Yeah.
What really does take a hit is the kind of the weekly upkeep that is required, like weeding or cutting the grass or staying on top of that, the garden, all of those things. That's what really kind of has had to take a little bit of a back seat for really since summer has started for us, because it has been fairly hectic. We try to get a lot of that stuff done in the evenings, but as long as Joe's and All-Stars, they have practice in the evenings. And so it's just kind of been fitting it in whenever we can. And sometimes you just kind of have to do that.
Yeah.
The garden, I wouldn't say is suffering, but it is not thriving the way I would like to see it thrive because of this.
Yeah. And it's just a decision we had to make. Like, we want our children to live lives. We want them to be able to do extracurricular activities. We have to understand that requires our time, and the garden requires our time, and we're going to have to figure out the balance.
Yeah. And I think that, for me, it's important. Both things are important.
Yes.
We're saying all this to hopefully encourage you guys if you are in that same position. You know, and really it's the phase of life that we're in with young children, teenagers, but also Joe, who is a young child.
Yeah.
And the responsibilities that come with that. Ooh, there's a good thunder roll.
Yeah.
But the responsibilities that come with that. And I think that you really have to make the choice and the conscious decision of where you're going to prioritize all of that.
Yeah.
And I know that Jess has kind of talked about this on some of her social media platforms, if you guys watch Roots and Refuge and stuff. But for us, it really is, like, homesteading is important. We're not going to give that up.
Right.
But we're also willing to let it take a little bit of a hit.
Right.
Because family is also important. And, like, what the kids want to do and the desires. It's just really difficult when you're living two of these lives that both require pretty much all of your free time.
Yeah. And I think that the biggest thing for me is that I have to make sure, even when I'm tired, that I'm intentional to do the things that the homestead needs me to do. Like, I literally have so much squash and zucchini in the refrigerator that I don't want to lose. I want to make sure I'm intentional to preserve it when we have some off time tomorrow. But I know I'm going to be tired, so I'm going to have to make sure I'm taking care of myself and that I'm prioritizing making sure we put this harvest away so we have it for later on.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest hurdle that we have to overcome is being willing and sucking it up to deal with, like, the harvest and taking care of all that so you don't lose it, even when you're tired and it's much later than you would ideally want to be doing it.
Right.
Or whatever else, because that is perishable.
Yes.
And so while, the house may be in disarray and everything else, that's not perishable. So sometimes it just has to go. It'll still be in
disarray tomorrow or in 2 days.
And all of that just does add, I guess, a little bit of stress. So that's the other part of it.
Yeah.
Is realizing it's for a time in a season. It's not worth getting stressed over.
Right.
You just kind of have to, like, take a breath,
and
deal with it as you can, and take care of the things that are more time pressing than the others.
Yeah. And know that this season is important. And for me, like, I want to be engaged in these moments. I don't want to be worried about what's going on in the homestead or what I have tomorrow or, what needs to be done. I want to be really intentional to be in these moments with my children, because we will have a garden probably for the rest of our lives. But at some point, our children are going to move out,
Yeah.
And so while we do it is a major goal of ours to provide our own food and to grow and harvest and keep as much as we can, ultimately, the kids are the first priority.
Right. And again, that's okay, guys. If that's where you're at, that's okay. Don't get discouraged. Spend the time to get what you can get done.
Yep.
But don't pass up temporary things for things that are more eternal and life impacting.
Yeah.
Even if it means taking some sacrifices, being tireder than normal for a few weeks or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's definitely been worth it. It's been fun. And again, yes, I'm ready to get a break from baseball. But at the same time, I really enjoy being able to be out here and be a part of this part of Joe's life.
Yeah.
And watching the girls be fully engaged with it as well and excited for him and building that part of their relationship as siblings.
Yeah. It's important for sure.
Yeah. All right. So highs and lows.
Yes. So my high was probably a pretty fun play Joe had, watching him get a couple guys in and then he scored a winning run. That was exciting. It's exciting to watch him do something he's fairly good at. So that was really fun. My low is probably just yesterday I had a really bad migraine and I was trying to be out here and, like, enjoy being with him and being in the moment, and all while having this really intense migraine in the heat. So that was not fun.
Yeah. My low was definitely the high temperatures.
Yes.
It has been super hot this past week. Thankfully, most of my projects were in a very shady property, but heat index over 100. Definitely was very cautious, very aware of my body, paced myself, stayed hydrated, all that stuff, took care of it, which that hydration drink was such a refresher at the end of those days. So if y'all missed that video, I will link it for you guys. Definitely check that out. I won't say a lifesaver. It's been a day saver for sure. Just kind of re-energized me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
My high, I think, would be a project that I was working on. It was kind of a pond redo. Is one that we put in several years ago that started just having kind of one problem after another. So we just went in and completely revamped it. And that was a lot of fun because it was a project where I was able to work at a slower pace, because those just by nature just kind of demand a slower pace anyway. And so it actually was like the perfect project and location for a really high heat index kind of week.
So that's all we have for you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us at the ball field.
Yes.
During our weather delay. We hope that you guys have a great week and be blessed.